this major pick.
Do you want July or October?
Do you want July or October?
July.
July?
Correct.
Okay. Where do we begin?
Just moms and all those children, or Maddie wakes up.
Just moms and all the children, or Maddie wakes up?
Maddie wakes up.
Maddie wakes up on the 4th of July morning and eats her breakfast and plays on her phone.
And records on her plushes.
And records all her plushes. Then Maddie eats her lunch. But
you forgot the DS.
And Madison plays the DS. And then Maddie eats her lunch, but she doesn't eat her mac and cheese.
When Mom gets here.
And Mom gets here. And Maddie
When Mom tells you,
the
fun
has arrived.
When Maddie was pacing you.
And Maddie was
And Mom tells you, and happy 4th of July.
And Mom tells you, and happy 4th of July. And you say happy 4th of July. But then you start singing this horrible, terrible, disgusting song.
And then, when the sky was getting darker.
And then, when the sky was getting darker, Maddie gets dressed in her
Take a shower, and we wear a uniform, and she puts on and she records and plays on the S.
And Madison takes a shower, and she puts on her uniform, she records and plays on her DS.
And we sing in the horrible, terrible, disgusting song.
And she's singing this horrible, terrible, disgusting song.
And Mom tells you, lock eyes from across the room. Such a gross, disgusting, horrible.
And Mom tells you, lock eyes from across the room. That's a gross and disgusting, terrible song. It's trash. It's garbage. It's horrible.
And then when Maddie tells you, aye.
Stop singing.
And Maddie tells you, aye.
Stop singing that horrible. And Maddie tells you, aye. And Mommy tells you, stop singing that.
Mom tells you, I don't want to hear this horrible song.
It's
just garbage.
And Mom tells you, I don't want to hear this horrible, terrible song. It's such garbage.
And she was taping you.
When
Nan puts on her socks and shoes.
And Nan puts on her socks and shoes.
And me put on her shoes.
And Maddie puts on her shoes and starts saying, "It's not right now."
And she records on, and because now right now, wait to go.
And now right now,
bravo,
bravo, Nina, great job, woohoo!
And then, so we can go outside to open the door to steps, and we saw a cars and van, all of the kids, the children, senior citizens, Asian history, European history, all of the African Americans. Wears a uniform.
Okay. And all the ladies.
When John starts to drive.
And John starts to drive.
And she's drawing and typing away.
Drawing and typing away on her phone.
And we saw
a
school, and we saw a auditorium, and we saw a schoolyard.
And we saw a school, and we saw an auditorium, we saw a schoolyard, and we saw a Chinese restaurant, a Tokyo restaurant, and a hospital, and a fitness center.
And we saw a electronic shops, and we saw a video game shops.
And a video game shop, and we saw a jewelry shop.
And we saw a gymnasium, and we saw a show auditorium and auditorium.
We saw a gymnasium, a show auditorium, and auditorium. And we saw a skateboarding. And we saw a haunted
graveyard. And we saw a old house.
And we saw an old house and an old shed.
And we saw a one graveyard, and we saw
And we saw
one single
graveyard,
firework.
and we saw one single firework.
Good. Did you
And we saw another firework.
And we saw another firework.
And we saw a hotel and the city lights. And we saw a city.
And we saw a hotel and the city lights. And we saw a city.
And we saw a gas station.
And we saw a gas station.
And we saw a store.
And we saw a store.
And we saw a toy store.
And we saw a toy store.
And we saw a clothing store. And we saw a Sam's Club.
And we saw a clothing store. And we saw a Sam's Club.
And we saw a Walmart.
And we saw a Walmart.
And we saw a Target and Wendy's.
And we saw a Target and Wendy's.
And we saw a car wash.
And we saw a car wash.
And we saw a bank. And we saw a TD Bank.
And we saw a bank. And we saw a TD Bank.
And we saw a Dollar Tree.
And we saw a Dollar Tree.
And we saw a Woods.
And we saw the woods.
All of the dogs are going to Hamilton.
And all the
All of
dogs
the
are going.
uniform kids are going to Hamilton.
And all the dogs are going to Hamilton. All the cats are going to Hamilton. All the uniform kids are going to Hamilton.
All of the crowds are going to Hamilton.
And all of the crowds are going to Hamilton.
And we saw a car store.
And we saw,
And we saw a Halloween store.
And we saw a Halloween store.
And we saw a party store. And we saw
a party store.
And we saw a dressing room.
And we saw a dressing room.
And we saw a hotel room.
And we saw a hotel room.
And we saw a bar.
And we saw a bar.
And we saw a plant.
And we saw a plant.
And we saw a Lowe's.
And we saw a Lowe's.
And we start parking lot.
And then we start to park in the parking lot. And John says, "Here we are." And then we get out of the van
and we saw a narrator's house.
And we saw a narrator's house.
And Maddie tells you Ezra 2007 times.
And Maddie tells you Ezra 2007 times.
Even louder, even louder, so we can join the crowd of moms.
So we can join the crowds of moms and
even louder. So we can the whole crowd.
So we can join the whole crowd of moms and babies and infants and children and
kids.
boys and girls and kids and grandmas and grandpops and aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews and friends.
The family.
And all of the families.
All of the bros.
And all of the bros.
All of the sisters.
All of the sisters.
All of the brothers.
All of the brothers.
All of the sisters.
All of the sisters.
All of the Italy crowd.
And all of the Italy crowd.
And we saw a American crowd.
And we saw an American crowd.
And we saw an Asian crowd.
And we saw an Asian crowd.
And we saw a South Africa crowd.
And we saw a South Africa crowd.
And we saw a American. And we saw a Argentina crowd.
And we saw an Argentina crowd.
And we saw Australian families.
And
we saw a juniors.
Australian families and juniors. And ladies and gentlemen and misters and
all
misses.
the princes.
All the princess and all the princesses and all the kings and all the queens and all the jokers.
All of the Jack.
All the Jacks.
All of the Susie.
All of the Susie.
Lucy, Joe.
Lucy, Joe.
Tom.
Tom.
Matt. Jade,
Jade,
John, Dave,
Dave,
Rose.
Rose,
And we saw Jane,
and we saw Jane
Justin,
and Justin,
and we saw and
we saw
guys and gals.
guys and gals and ladies and gentlemen and misters and misses and senior citizens.
All of
On all of the African families.
all of the bad girls.
All of the bad girls.
All of the gangs.
All of the gangs.
All of the black grandparents.
All of the black grandparents.
All of the ages.
All of the ages.
And all of the mothers.
And
Fathers.
all the mothers and fathers.
All of the Duncan Pointer Pinkies.
Oh, the Duncan Pointer Pinkies.
Ben, Jeff.
Ben, Jeff. All the teachers.
All of the Victoria.
All the Victoria.
All of the Johnson.
Is it?
All of the Johnsons.
Yo le voy a gritar, where'd you leave your nunchucks?
All of the players.
All the players.
Nunchuck. Where'd you leave your nunchucks?
All of the
Why?
football
Are they in your
players.
pocket?
All of the football players.
All the bass.
All the baseball players.
All of the all of the officers, and all the mayor is coming out.
And we saw all the officers and we saw all the mayors coming out.
All the whole crowds are wearing a uniform to watch the spectacular fire.
And all the crowd are wearing a uniform to
And the
watch
whole
spectacular
all the
fireworks.
whole nation are wearing a uniform. All the whole language
And all the
crowds
language
wears a
crowds
uniform
wears a uniform
to watch a spectacular
to watch
fireworks.
a spectacular fireworks show.
And then the narrator are going to all the announcer are telling you,
And all the announcers are telling you,
hello everybody.
hello everybody and welcome to our fireworks show.
All the whole crowd tells you,
And the whole crowd tells him, yes,
hello,
hello,
Mayor.
Mayor.
All of the reels,
Real.
welcome to the fireworks show.
Welcome to the fireworks show.
And the narrator are telling you, are you ready?
And the narrator is telling you, are you ready for the biggest, greatest fireworks show
All
ever?
of the dogs and the cats, the black dogs.
And all the dogs and cats, the black cats and the
All
black
of the
dogs,
German histories.
all the German histories, all of the Polish history.
Are you? The crowd is cheering. Yes, we are.
And the crowd is cheering. Yes, we are.
I don't believe it.
And the narrator are telling you, here we comes.
And the narrator tells you, are you ready for this huge
Here it
party?
comes.
Here it comes.
Choo!
Jump! Jump, jump!
The pop of the fireworks begin, but this scares the babies and children.
The pop of the fireworks began, but it scared all the babies and children.
And the baby starts to cry.
And the baby started to
Cry.
Gets away.
And dog scared Felix, and Felix throws up.
And the sound got Felix scared, and Felix threw up.
Blah!
Blah! Blah!
Stand up.
Okay.
Blah!
Blah!
When John grabs their sweaters and put it back in the van.
And John grabs the sweaters and puts them back in the van.
And the narrator is telling you,
And then
coming up is the second fireworks.
And the narrator tells us, coming up is the second fireworks show.
Choo!
Choo!
And Maddie tells you Friday.
And Maddie tells you Friday Night Funkin'. Yeah. Can I get on the bed?
Choo!
Choo! And
Then,
do you want this side?
and then, and we saw a spaceship.
And we saw
And we saw a narrator tells you,
And the narrator tells you, whoa!
what is this?
What is this in the sky? It's so colorful with bright lights.
Even louder. It's the spaceship.
It's a spaceship!
There's a Pluto.
And there's Pluto!
And Saturn.
And
Earth.
Saturn and... We can't see Earth.
Earth.
Earth, we are on Earth. And Earth.
And Mom tells you,
And Mom tells you,
wow,
wow.
look at the spaceship,
Look at that spaceship.
Maddie.
Maddie, it's incredible. We
All
saw a
the
spaceship.
babies are going cuckoo caca.
And all of the babies are going goo goo gaga.
All the whole nation and crowd are happy.
And the whole nation and crowds are happy. The announcer.
All the kids are laughing.
And all the kids are laughing and excited and
Ma-
happy. And then,
And we saw narrator, we're going to say, here comes the colorful.
and the narrator says, here comes the colorful, most spectacular, beautiful, amazing,
Ever.
grandest final finale ever.
And the narrator are telling you,
And-
are you ready?
Oh, and the narrator tells you, are you ready, crowd? And the
Whole crowd.
And the whole crowd yells, yes, we are!
And even louder, are you ready, whole crowd and whole nations?
Are you ready, whole crowd and whole nations? And the crowd says, yes, we are! Give us a show!
Oh, the babies are going cuckoo gaga.
And the babies are going goo goo gaga.
And we saw a wildest, silliest, craziest, extremely final finale ever.
And we saw the wonderful,
Largest,
grandest, beautiful,
amazing,
amazing,
final, wonderful,
wonderful,
grandest, final,
final finale ever.
silliest, craziest,
final,
wildest firework ever.
firework ever.
And we saw a magical firework.
And we saw a magical firework.
And we saw a star firework.
And we saw a star firework.
And we saw a giant, wildest, extremely firework. Even louder.
And we saw an amazing, wildest, grandest fireworks show ever.
Even louder, the whole crowd, kids, children, babies, dad, grandmother, grandfathers, whole nations, Brazilian, Asian history are going wild.
And the crowd and the whole nations, all the Asians.
And the whole crowd goes wild. Even louder, even louder.
And the whole crowd goes wild.
movement.
applause and movements and woo-hoo! Yay!
And the junior goes wild.
And the juniors go wild.
All the princes, King Jack goes wild.
And all the princes, kings, jacks go wild.
All the Lucy, Jessie,
All
Joey.
Lucy, Jessie, Joey
went wild.
went wild.
All the women, ladies,
All the
little
women
girls,
and ladies
sisters
and
go
little girls
wild.
and sisters go wild.
All of the brother goes wild.
All of the brothers go wild.
We are the bros goes wild.
And even the bros go wild.
The cat goes wild.
The cat goes wild. Meow, meow.
Everybody went wild with
And
applause.
everybody went wild with applause. Woo! What an amazing show! Woo!
And the narrator tells you what a happy foot.
And the narrator tells you, what a happy, wonderful 4th of July. What a show, huh, crowd? And the crowd says, yay!
And the narrator tells you, thank you for watching the July 4th.
And the narrator tells you, thank you
Or
for
in
watching.
conclude.
July 4th.
Concluding.
Concluding.
The concluding narrator tells you,
The concluding narrator tells you,
what a spectacular happy 4th of July ever.
what
Even louder.
what an amazing, spectacular 4th of July ever!
Oh, the whole crowd starts to clap.
And the whole crowd,
Rounds of applause. And it goes wild round with applause.
and the whole crowd gives a whole round of applause.
Went wild.
And they go
With a
wild
round of applause.
with a round of applause. Woo! And the narrator says,
What a spectacular happy 4th of July ever. I'm so happy. You make me heart happy. Even louder.
and the mayor goes, the announcer goes, thank you for coming.
I'm so happy 4th of July ever.
And I am so happy. This was the happiest, best 4th of July ever.
You make me heart happy.
You make my heart happy.
And the whole crowd starts to clap softly. And the women are telling you,
And the whole crowd starts to clap softly. And the women are telling you,
we did the fire.
We did the fireworks show.
Yeah, it was so
Yes,
fun.
it was so much fun.
All the kids are going to say, sweet, yeah!
And all the kids are going to say, sweet, yeah!
Oh, I do.
I do.
I should be going to, of course.
Yeah.
Woof, woof. Me. Meow. And John tells you, let's get in the van to go home.
And John tells you, let's get in the van to go home.
And the narrator tells you,
And the narrator tells you,
goodbye, crowd.
goodbye, crowd.
All the whole nation, the whole crowd are going to say even louder,
And the whole crowd and the whole nation are going to say, Happy 4th
goodbye, crowd.
Goodbye, crowd.
Goodbye, Mayor.
Goodbye,
Mayor. And Maddie tells you, Homestead, Miga, Lovanya, what happened to all this traffic?
And Maddie tells you, Homestuck,
Miga, Lovanya.
me, Galavania.
What happened to all this
And
traffic?
Maddie asks, what happened with all this traffic? And
Mom tells you,
Mom tells you, it's because everybody's trying to go home at the same time. Hold on 1 second, baby. Hello? Hey.
when John starts to drive,
Nothing?
he decides to take 100 spins. He's like,
What?
And if John starts and decides take 100 spins.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. Oh my god. Well, hopefully it goes my way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And John decides to take 100 spins.
And John decides to take 100 spins.
And we saw
No,
woods
that's-
again. And we
yeah,
saw
he's saying
a
the speech.
house woods again.
It's the speech.
And we saw a house woods.
No. Oh my god.
I saw a woods.
And we saw the woods.
And we saw a traffic again.
And we saw a traffic again. Hold on, Daddy, sorry. And
Because we're all...
okay,
Because a
I
lot
love
of
you.
traffic.
Alright. Okay, bye. And we saw a lot of traffic. And Maddie says, why is there so much traffic? And Mom and Nan say, because everybody's trying to leave
at the same time.
at the same time.
To go home.
To go home.
And we saw a electronic shop. And we saw a center plaza.
And we saw an electronic shop. And we saw a center plaza.
And we saw a manor hall.
And we saw a
Manor hall. Manor hall.
And we saw a manor hall.
Court.
One.
And we saw
And
a
we
47.
Saw a 47. And we were
home.
Home at last. And
John tells you we're home.
And John tells us we're home. And we all get out of the van. And we go into the house.
Mom tells you.
And Mom tells you, Happy 4th of July, Maddie.
Thank you for coming to Hamilton and getting wild.
Thank you for coming to Hamilton and getting wild and excited.
I will see you tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Have fun. Have a good night. Don't party too hard. Sleep till 7. And that